Well, thanks for tuning into the market wrap. Is the penultimate one before the big festival comes around. So it'll be an important one because it's also the one before the long weekend. Technically, not the long weekend because we still have an hour's trade tomorrow, an hour and quarter. But nevertheless, this is Niraj Shah Nickey Mirchandani. And let's get the markets up on the screen first. The Nifty and how it did today. And you will see quiet as she goes, steady as she goes. Not think too much else was anticipated. The only good part is that while the markets were down today, and we spoke about this in the morning, that don't look at the SGX Nifty and the start to figure out what will happen during the course of the day, simply because the Dow futures were in the green in the morning, any which ways. But there's been a bit of a recovery and led largely by a variety of names. So as you can see, Eicher Motors moved today 7% higher. Not that the sell side brokerages were all bullish, some it was a mixed bag, but I think there's a lot of strength in that move today. Accompanying in were names like Hero MotoCorp and Bajaj Finance, two-wheeler financing of sorts. Tata Steel did okay, Coal India did okay, despite the numbers looking lackluster, so to say. And what didn't do well, Tata Motors was anticipated to do really well, somehow not quite standing out. L&T about 2% lower, HDFC and HDFC Bank also correcting a little bit, negating the kind of moves that some of the other gainers did in the session today. Let's get Nikki in. And Nikki, I wonder if it's an auto name, which is amongst the top stocks to watch out for you on large caps today.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be surprised if Tata Steel out there before the numbers. The stock has been buzzing. I think it's yet another session of rally. It's been quite a while that the stock has been doing rather too well for itself. And just ahead of earnings also, the stock was up around 2.5, 3% in trade today. We were expecting rather solid set of numbers coming in from Tata Steel on account of the strong realization. Now, we all know that HRC prices have been on an uptrend, on account of which, even as the revenue is expected to be the flattish, operational performance on account of realization and cost saving measures, that's expected to be higher by as much as 8% year-on-year basis. And profitability too, that's expected to take a hit on account of tax probably measures, and also, the European division is expected to weigh down on the bottom line performance to an extent. Apart from that, we would also be looking out for the sale of European business, because that's one key parameter that we've been talking about the entire week. Any announcement on this front would be eyed. So if that were to come through, sure, the valuation, you would see an uptick in the stock coming in, and also some support creeping into the valuation. But then what are you picking up, Neeraj, on in the mid cap space as a whole?
Well, I think all of us have to admit it that the broader market moves have largely been better. So if you get the MOV function on the screen, I'd first like to start off with what the market breadth was like in the session today. And as you can see, 301 to 97, you could almost be forgiven for thinking that this is the move that happened yesterday. It wasn't. This is today. 3-2 in favor of the advances. And again, mixed bag, right? Mass financial services, mid-sized, small-sized lender actually doing so well for itself. Enables real estate, and of course, all of us know the reasons. Apollo Hospitals, the continuation of the move. Enables housing doing well, Jubilant Foodworks doing well, the brokerage reactions thereof. So all in all, a mixed set of stocks doing rather well for themselves. What didn't do well were names like Sun TV, where much was anticipated in terms of a buyback and didn't come about. That one cracked a little bit. Trade Z Entertainment continued to grind lower along with Sun TV. And to an extent, Avanti Feeds, Venky's, and the entire clutch of names also came off. So net, not too many losers, large gainers, but a decent move today. What stood out, Nikki?
Yeah, Jubilant Foodworks, because CLSA had come with an upgrade on discounter, especially it raised the target price also. I mean, it upgraded the stock to outperform from underperform earlier. It said that they expected to benefit from industry consolidation and acceleration from new initiatives as a whole. They've gone ahead and raised FY21, that's this financial year, along with the coming to financial year earnings estimate by 4 to 15 on 10. So that's a sharp move coming in terms of earning expectation. They said that the new initiatives at this point of time haven't been factored into the stock price, because of which there is this upgrade coming in. Of course, India Bulls Real Estate, after Jhunjhunwala picked up 1.1% stake in the counter, it's second consecutive session that we're seeing a sharp uptick coming in on India Bulls Real Estate. We've seen 14-15% kind of rally for the stock. It settled maybe with the gains of around 5.5, 6% the last time I checked on the screen. So that's one bit of it. But then, Neeraj, I'm going to quickly come back to you and ask you what are you expecting in terms of the trading session, if at all, and any earnings that you'd be watching for in the long extended weekend after probably the long extended weekend.
And about earnings, one, I mean, the trade takeaways today, Nikki, give us a bit of indication on probably what is in store in the near term, isn't it? I mean, frankly, just look at how the markets behaved today, and some of it is also how the markets behaved during the course of the week. So today, pharma stocks were really shining, and otherwise quiet day for heavyweights. And the same thing happened 2 days ago when IT and pharma came back, and Reliance and the banks were down. Remember, Reliance was down 4% at a point of time, and yet the markets were flat day before yesterday, I presume. You could actually, I mean, I'm wondering if this this time's Motor trading session might actually see heightened interest in some of the better performing names, simply because of the quantum of direct accounts that are now open. We all know the kind of demat account openings that have happened. And if indeed that continues, you might actually have a slightly different trading session. Usually, the Motor trading session follows a pattern of starting quiet, moving up higher, and then coming off rapidly, and being a lackluster, meaningless session. But for you know the festive buying that happens, wonder if this time could be different. That is one thing. Lastly, I just think that continued boom in mid caps is very encouraging. We were talking about the market breadth earlier. I mean, just look at, there are so many names. There is the India Bulls Real Estate. There is a um, multiple names. Ashok Leyland, for example, I think did well. There are multiple names which Delta Corp had news coming in 2 3 days ago, but the move still continues, which is actually very encouraging. So let's wait and watch for that. What about you, Nikki? And what are the global markets indicating?
Well, at this point of time, European markets to an extent have recovered losses, but still they continue to trade mixed. And US stock futures, of course, are trading lower at this point of time. The whole surges that we've seen in terms of COVID-19 cases, probably second, third wave, whatever that is, at this point of time, it's continuing to have an impact on the market. And the president at this point of time is also, the Federal Reserve, rather at this point of time, is sending some caution at the and saying that the market got to be watchful of the number of cases that have been on uptick or an uptrend, which will have a further continuation of impact on the economy. But that's that in terms of market trap. But then happy to hear us from us, from the whole BQ team that puts the piece together. Have a nice day.